Organization and discipline, or, as I might say, organization and ill-discipline, or disorganization and ill-discipline. Those qualities are the encompassing determinants on the nature of a society. Class distinctions are a functioning symptom of a general disorganization and ill-discipline of the culture in the society. Those two qualities derive from the orientation to the material security and trappings of our carnality. Though understandable, comprehensible, and logical from a historical perspective, those qualities of classification are the illusionary maya of karmic perpetuation of our general condition. Because our mortal existence is seen as the primary identification and expression of our existence, then the deductive and concluding options set up this inevitable class system. The class system is inequitable and existentially unjust, since it traps the utility and worth of a person within confining dimensions of servitude. Whether the servitude is at the top or bottom of the food chain of carnal survival, all are victims. The victimization comes from the scope of focus available and the means within that scope of focus. Those exceptions to the trapped economic expectations and who are seen as exceptional within the system still face the intangible servitude of its absolute disorganization and ill-discipline because of the entitlements of indulgence presumed to be the reward for exceptionalism. Those indulgences have created insulated islands of cultural and social illusions which have degraded the general cultural potential and efficiency. Those insulated islands are a thought consensus of cognition that overlook or underestimate those qualities that are amaterial and acarnal, basically the occult and alchemistry of serendipity. Those underappreciated dimensions provide the lacking holistic identification, purpose, and mission, which unites and bonds us to elements beyond our anthropomorphic realm. What we cognitively clutch is just the superficial aspects of function. Much like the distinctions between rational and irrational numbers, we live in the realms of limited definitions and conceptions, as when you take rational numbers as the sole universe of your functioning. In reality, it is the underlying irrational numbers which give context to the rational numbers. In this way, our present cultural paradigm's unappreciativeness for the occult and alchemical metaphysics leaves us dislocated and estranged from the deeper capabilities of our functions. Because we are dislocated and estranged from that realm, we suffer in the disorganization and ill-disciplines I am presenting here. Again, in regards to the parallel of rational and irrational numbers to the hard and fast tradition and laws in a cultural society, and the practical application of behavior within that architecture of traditions and laws, let's use an example of a consensus that develops traditions and laws in their parallel to rational and irrational number functions. By looking at the weight, height, physiological ideals for health as the rational functions, and your and my physical condition as the irrational functions. For any age and height, we should weigh such and such and be capable of doing such and such. There would be a small fraction of us, not me, who would be able to say that they are at a weight and physiological fitness to meet or exceed, for my ultra thesis, the standard of expectations for that high degree of physiological efficiency. That high degree is the rational numbers. Our conditions are the irrational numbers that are close or far approximation to that ideal. It is from our conditions that the ideals, the rational numbers, have their context. Such are the laws and traditions of society and culture to our mundane and sublime aspirations and operational functioning. It will take a discrete discernment and discipline to navigate in that sensory field of approximations and be able to be still coherent to organization and disciplines which allow for enhancing engagements than either a hunkering siege mentality to a predatory looking over the shoulder in fear of detection of a fraud and falsehood of one's mental or emotional larceny or fallacy to others. Disorganization allows for ill discipline that compounds with disorganization. Being able to discern the necessary and the efficient from the frivolous and superfluous allows for an organization discipline that can be flexible and discerning as is relevant to one's anatomical and physiological basic needs. One is no longer lured and tempted to overindulgences that corrupt one's organization and discipline. One does not find oneself identifying with social and cultural externals as the alpha omega of their conceptual and perceptual world. One becomes attuned to the rhythms of one's physiology and anatomy, thus the rhythm of natures which sustain and support it. One is no longer in human carnality, but in the ecologic balance of creation.